Good evening, everybody.
Yes, it is a good evening.
It is, man. It's a little chilly out there.
Yeah, we kind of had the, everybody jokes, here in the South, we have like winter, then like fall, spring, then like another winter, then like another fall, spring, and then another, and then we just go through the pollinating.
Yeah, the pollinating.
But we've been so dang mild.
It has, yeah.
And then, all of a sudden it gets back to just normal temperatures, like highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s. And like my wife would be like, yeah, it's freezing. I'm like, babe, it is 45 degrees outside. By definition, that is not even close to freezing.
Dude, I'll tell you, I got cold to the bone because I was on the bulldozer today.
Yeah.
And it's open cab. And just the wind makes it, that's what makes it so cold.
Well, it's odd. Like some of the coldest moments of my life. Right. It's not like the moment you would think. You'd be like, that was the brutally cold day when it was 0 degrees that morning with a -10 wind chill and I was feeding cows. Like, no, it was cold.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it's like 30 degrees and I'm at the softball field watching my daughter play. And it's like, you get there and you think, oh, we won't be there that late that night. So you don't wear quite enough clothes and you're just standing there.
Yeah.
And it's like 30 with a light wind. And like, I have been just miserably cold.
That is a good
on
point.
some of those days.
Yeah.
Because you're not prepared for it.
That is true. The coldest I've ever been have been unprepared moments.
Yeah. And you're just something where you're just sitting there. Well, kind of like on the dozer. Yeah. You're not super, active and do anything to keep you warm.
No. Yeah. No, it's cold on there. And I didn't have overalls or anything. And so, yeah, I was pretty chilly, but that is one good thing. I have so much crap in my service truck that I dug out like 2 shirts. There was like 2 shirts in there. So I just really layered up and zipped my jacket up and was a little better. Man, I tell you what, I really like those Geyer gloves. Yeah. Man, they fit great. I feel like I could, you know what I'd like to do with them? I'd like to beat the shit out of somebody with them because they fit so good. They fit like fighting gloves.
Oh, I love mine. I have 3 or 4 pair now.
Yeah, I am going to get another pair. Actually, Dad, I need to get him a pair because Dad almost thought he was going to get into a fist fight with somebody one time in the field. Have I ever told you about this?
Well, not that he like almost gets into fights all the time, but I feel like it's one of those stories where if I start hearing it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I have heard that story.
Well, I'll share it on here. Before we share it, we need to mention our friends over at agzaga.com.
Yes, absolutely.
What do they got going on right now? I guess it's still hay wrap season.
Hay wrap. I believe the $10 off of the FFA wrap, I think, ended today because today's leap day. Of course, we're recording here on Thursday. Won't do any of y'all any good by the time this video post or episode post. But the Therapies, I was actually looking at that today.
I'm seeing ads for that now.
Yeah. The Therapies, obviously, Jared talked about it a couple of weeks ago when he was on with us. I've used it even before they were carrying it. I've been using it. And I, it's kind of the same way I was with the net wrap. I was like, all right, I just want to price compare it, like see how good this deal is they've got.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it as some of the other big online retailers just to price match it. They beat all the other online retailers to begin with, and that's before you use the 10% code.
Oh man, there you go. And is it still free shipping?
So I ordered, a water hose last week. It was free shipping. Yeah, the Talk Dirt discount code, again, Talk Dirt, all caps, all one word, get you 10% off. It wasn't supposed to still have free shipping, but as of last week, they were still shipping for free.
So get on there quickly.
Yeah.
Just in case Jared decides to, he's like, hey, all right, they've had enough of the cake. Let's back it down to just a slice.
Just the 10% off.
Yeah, but, just the tip.
But yeah, the Therapies, like their prices are really good to begin with, like really good. Like they're smart, like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know what the competitors are pricing things at, and they're going to beat them. Bale net wrap, baling season really is starting to bear down on us. We've only got like another 10 days till time changes.
Yeah.
That's next weekend. And I know once that happens, it'll seem like spring is here before we know it, and then we'll be in the hayfield. But the Therapies, if you're getting ready to wean calves, maybe you're bringing in some high risk cattle, kind of like we do some in the spring. Anything like that. I think I'm going to put it on my feeder steers a day or two before I haul them in for slaughter, just so
Yeah.
they're a little calmer on the
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah.
You know, don't have those cortisol levels up. You know, I've never really had any issues with the meat being, you know,
Tough or
subpar
something,
because animals are super agitated.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why not? It's like literally like $1.50 a dose, something ridiculously cheap like that. So
Y'all get on there, use that. And before I get into that story, speaking of FFA, I did not do my part for the FFA this past week.
you didn't. I don't know what was going on for the FFA this last week.
I went to Tractor Supply, unfortunately. I guess I'll mention Tractor Supply because I needed – what did I need? I needed something immediately. And they had an automatic, like the questionnaire at the end. And it said, do you want to round up? And I said, no. And like I just did it without even thinking. And I'm like, no. And it was funny because afterwards I was thinking, I'm like, that was like 35 cents. It was like, do you want to round up 35 cents to give to FFA? And I just said, no. And just because I'm trying to, I'm like so messed up with this tip thing now on everything. When I go to like Lenny's or something, I get a sandwich and it'll say add tip. I don't do it. Like I'm gonna be real. Like I am a good tipper. Because I'm like, look, I don't want this job. I could not ever work in that service because people are just assholes. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want this job. So I always tip really well. But like when I go to Lenny's or Subway
like
or
a
something,
fast food
joint, I'm paying for this already. Like when I go to Lenny's, I'm paying I'm paying $15 a sandwich or something.
Man, like, it is crazy how high like just fast food is nowadays.
It is. It's really not any. It is not any cheaper than like we've said before, just ordering a burger or something from your local actual restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I try my damnedest to do that.
Yeah.
But it was one night a couple weeks ago. We had softball practice. Softball got over at 8 o'clock. So it was like 8:15, 8:30. My wife texted me. She was at home wrestling Willis. And so she was like, I have not cooked anything. I was like, all right. So we went to Wendy's.
Yeah.
It was $40.
Yeah.
I actually messed up. My wife, I thought my son was already asleep. She texted me to get him like something to eat too, and I didn't even get something for him. So I got that was basically 3 value meals.
Wow,
jeez, $40.
Yeah, you could have gone eat Mexican for that.
Yeah, oh yeah, gone and ate at a sit down restaurant. But I have tipped before at Lenny's, and it'd be like $20 for my sandwich. Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm just not doing that. I'm not.
Oh
doing
yeah, well,
that.
if you're getting something delivered like pizza, I'll tip. Obviously, if you're at a sit down restaurant, And I always get annoyed when you're like with a big party and they automatically do the 18%. Yeah,
because I give them more than that.
Well, my baseline is 20.
Yeah,
like I go for 20 is easy to calculate.
Yeah,
you just 10 and double it. It's easy, and I feel like, right, because I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, what's a couple extra dollars? It's not going to hurt me. If everybody does that for these people, they're busting their ass. But yeah, it is kind of weird, like at places. Or like sometimes I'll do a lot of, like if I don't have time to run home at lunch, again, because I don't like to do a drive-through fast food.
Yeah.
I'll call one of our local little kind of sit-down places and get carry-out.
I tip then.
Okay.
I tip on carry
I do too, because the peer pressure, like when they spin the little thing around, like, all right, I can't hit no. But yeah, still it's like, what's the proper etiquette here?
Yeah.
Like, because they're not serving you really, but but at the same time, I'm like, all right, I'm a business owner in the community. Like, again, a couple of dollars to me. I mean, this poor young gal, 20 years old, working her way through school, whatever.
I guess I am hypocritical there, because I will tip on a carry out at a restaurant, but I don't tip on a fast food joint.
And it's like, I can't even tell you, like, I'll hit the drive through, like I just said, at Wendy's, or we'll go to Sonic or something.
Would you tip at Taco Bell?
I mean, they don't even give you the option there, do they?
No, I don't even think. They're like, look, man, you're barely going to get your food. So
I have not been to a Taco Bell. Actually, I'll take that back. Talking about softball tournaments and being cold, we were leaving one night at like 11 o'clock, and I was starving. I think we literally pulled through a drive-through. Everybody else in the car was like, "No, we don't want anything." And I got like 10 soft tacos.
I was gonna say, did you get a Mexican pizza? Dude, I'm a Mexican pizza man.
Do they make those anymore?
Oh yeah.
I was eating and driving because
Well,
heaven
those are hard
forbid
to
anybody
do.
else in my family, which I mean, my kids are the oldest ones.
Yeah, I mean,
Not even
Kimber ought to
10.
get behind the wheel.
But
Come on, Kimber.
well, my wife's like she ain't gonna offer to drive, and so I got to eat and drive. So I did tacos.
Pizza'd be tough. No, that's first time. I didn't go to Taco Bell for like 2 or 3 years because they got rid of the Mexican pizza. The moment that it came back, I've been back to Taco Bell.
I've been to, which again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like I don't hit fast food drive-throughs or fast food restaurants, period, very often at all. We try to, like if we're road tripping, we try to make a pact that we're going to eat places we can't eat at home.
Yeah.
And sometimes that may be a random fast food place that's just not local to our area.
Yeah.
But we try to hit little mom and pop shops.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, let me tell you about what Dad did. So this is
This fight. We got way off track.
Yeah, this is a farm related story here. So they were spraying over on I'll try to keep identities out of this, but I don't think any of them listen to the podcast. I'm not sure if they have internet access, actually, but there's this farm they work, and it's got some very country folk around there. And one of the dudes, when he works, he was bad about parking his van. Like there's only one way into this place. And they work a pretty good bit of ground here, and half of it is awful. Like I used to hate it. That was one of my happiest
Just not
moments.
very good ground.
No, there's some good ground in the back. The front ground, like a nuke, it looks like a nuke has hit this place. A friend of ours that had passed away, he had worked this place and he had absolutely mined it with a disc. And so there was times when I was spraying it back when I still worked for Dad. I almost turned the sprayer over. Like the tire would drop off in a ditch. One tire got like 6 foot off the ground on the sprayer, and I was running it widened out. Like your butthole would pinch a hole in your underwear. So he's out there, and there's one way in, and you got to drive past kind of their complex. Well, this dude was bad about we've been working this place for years. He knows that's our only access in. There's this one way. Well, Dad and them had got in there to spray, and Brock is running the sprayer at this point, so Dad is just running the water trailer for him. Well, they had pulled in there, and the dude had his work van parked in the way, and Dad was like, damn it, like he's trying to get by, and he said he just barely, like he said, he said it was just enough room. He said it couldn't have been 2 inches on each side of the truck. Brock was back in the back spraying already. He said he just barely.
So did Brock already get in before he parked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he said he just barely was able to get by. And he said as he was getting by.
Let me ask this, because I don't know who it is either. Are these people also the landowner?
Their family.
Family. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get too crossways with them.
Of some of it. Some of it. In the back, they're not. It's like 2 farms, but you access them in the same spot.
Yeah.
And Dad didn't care at this point. So he's squeezing through there, and the guy that lives in there, Dad gets like right through there, and the guy comes out the door, and Dad said he slams the door to the house, and he's like, "You sons of bitches, got to find another way in here," like hollering at him. And Dad said that he goes, "I just stopped," and I said, "What? What'd you say?" Because he said I had the window down, and it's funny because Dad is a pretty chill guy. Like
so, and just again, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm just like the listener out there. Is it like their driveway for their house that we're having to use?
Well,
okay.
Yeah, there's a gravel road, but they always like park in their yard. They park out of the way. They've never blocked it. I mean, we've been working this place for years. They have never parked their vehicle in the way. And the dude had parked it in the way. And I'm pretty sure this was actually the second time. Like he had to move it previously. So suddenly he started parking in the way. But he knew they were out there. Like he had seen Brock spraying. And my dad I would say he's pretty easygoing guy for the most part.
Yeah,
like,
your dad's pretty non-confrontational.
Yes, like he's not one, but the big C came out in him this day. For those who don't know, that's our grandfather, and he wouldn't take much shit. And so Dad goes, "What'd you say?" He hollered out, and he said, the guy goes, y'all are going to have to find another way in here. He goes, I'm tired of this shit coming through here. And Dad goes, we've been coming through here the whole time for years. And he goes, and Dad just said, I leaned out the window and I just went, you, F you. And he said, the guy goes, why, you get out of that truck, and started like stomping towards him. So Dad said, I just drove to the back. And he said, I got back there because Brock was like getting ready to fill up. And he called the landowner and he said, hey, your blankety blanking like cousin or whatever, he's a nut. Like, this ain't going to work. And he said, so she says she'll take care of it, all this. He said, not long goes by and he said, here comes this car driving back there. And he said, I can see the guy in the car. So Dad said, I put my leather gloves on because he said, I guess I'm about to get into a damn fight. And he said, I get out. And he said, he just props up on the truck. He said, I got my gloves on. He said, I ain't got a gun or nothing. And he said, but I'm like, whatever. I'm too old to be fighting, but I'm about to fight. And he said, the dude got out of the van and was like, hey, man, I'm sorry. You know, I just want to apologize. The kids were driving me nuts. It was a long day at work. I'm sorry.
Well, I can feel that.
Yeah, I think so. Dad said, he was like, well, I shouldn't have said what I said. So they buried the hatchet. So no asses were kicked.
That's the way it's supposed to go.
But that's what I thought of with that, like them Geyer gloves, the way they fit. I'm like, dude, you could punch a man's teeth out pretty good with them.
Yeah.
So that's a good endorsement for the Geyer gloves. I feel like you could do some ass kicking with those.
I think you could. I think you could do just about whatever you wanted to with them.
You could shoot. Those would actually be good shooting gloves. Like, well, they're really fitted.
Well,
good.
they make all different kinds. Like, I've got the thicker ones that aren't, quite as, I don't know, you don't have as much dexterity
or something. Yeah.
But I use those for fencing.
Yeah.
And then I have, I guess those are just the cowhide or maybe elk hide.
So.
I don't remember that I'd gotten for you. And those are my regular wearing gloves, like when I'm feeding cows and just general working.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good.
But I think they make even like softer leather ones.
Like lamb or something?
Yeah, or like deer skin or something.
Human.
Yeah.
some human skin gloves. Got the nipple in the palm.
Yeah. Little Silence of the Lambs type stuff going on there. But I don't know. You probably got to pay extra for those.
A nipple on the knuckle would be more like it. Like then you punch them, leave like a nipple imprint. That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how a nipple would imprint, though.
I don't know where you come up with this stuff. Seems like you've thought of this.
I've listened to too many Ed Gein or whatever podcasts. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I felt sorry for any of you that were expecting some just absolute beatdown story where I was going to say that Dad just stomped a mud hole in this guy. That didn't happen. They had a good, peaceful resolution. All right, we got a couple of people that wrote in. We got a few different things we want to talk about. The first one comes from Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Oh, man. A lot of stuff happens to Anonymous. All right. So, hey, guys, always enjoy the podcast. Could probably do without the farmer wants a wife stuff, LOL. Well, I got bad news for you, buddy. We're going to talk a little bit about it today. But you ain't got to tough it out but for just a few more weeks. But it's an entertaining show. Like, it really is.
As silly and as goofy as it was that, like, we got into it, like, my kids, like, I was amazed, like, my 6-year-old, my son was like, he's like calling them by name. I'm like, how do you, like, I can't even remember their names. And like,
but seeing it's appropriate for children.
Yeah, it's totally not ridiculous. It's nothing inappropriate.
Yeah. Only a little nudity.
Shoot. I see more nudity just on regular
on a commercial.
Yeah.
All right. So he said, I wish to remain anonymous, but I don't know Trace Browning personally. For guys that don't know Trace Browning, I'll preface this. In the episode we did, I guess it was last week, we talked about the Browning Livestock and the guy that has 8,000 head of cattle or had 8,000 head of cattle. He's in Tennessee. He's kind of facing some lawsuits and stuff over permitting and this and that. That's who they're talking about. Trace Browning is basically the head honcho. 23 years old. That still just blows my mind. He said, but I don't know Trace Browning personally, but I knew his dad that passed away and his granddad. Have sold a lot of cattle to them, either one or through the 2 stockyards they own in Carthage and Lafayette. They are good people. They have been buying and selling cattle for years and years at this scale and treat people right. I hate they have got into some environmental stuff, but they will get it worked out, I am sure. They are not villains, just farmers and business people trying to make a living in an area of the Upper Cumberland where few people make a living farming. Keep up the podcast. Keep farming on. Take care. So I wanted to mention that because we've had multiple different people write in now about Trace.
Yeah, it's because he's not really near us. I mean, he's 200 plus miles away from us, 250 maybe even. Yeah. But I mean, the ag world's a small world to begin with, and that's not that far away. But
yeah,
that's what I'd had a buddy that had listened to the past podcast. Said he knew of him, which because I hadn't heard of that story until you mentioned it last week, and I should have reached out to him because as close as they were geographically, I knew they had to know each other, and he had kind of indicated that he didn't feel quite as sorry for him. He's like, everybody told him this was going to happen. Like they were, what they were doing. And again, we're pretty anti-government, anti-regulation here. But and this guy, I would say, that buddy of mine's has similar viewpoints on that. But he was like, on the scale they were doing it, pretty much, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but like it was impossible for them not to get into some sticky areas there.
Yeah.
And so basically everybody warned him it was going to happen. It happened, and then I think he kind of ignored it and just tried to kind of stick a middle finger up, at the state or whatever for a while, and then finally, it kind of came to a head. So I don't know, two sides to every story. My mom always says there's three sides to every story. Their side, the state side, and then the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth's usually somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Well, it is funny because that's how we had a guy comment on one of our things about it, and he said guys like that are the reason that we have all the red tape we have. And he's not wrong.
And that's a good point too. Yeah. It's
because of the
runoffs few bad
and
actors
stuff
out there that we have to have right. Crazy laws, you have regulating, runoff, and because
some guy would have like 50 head in his backyard if there was like nothing.
Well, I mean, it's like my cows. Like I have cows that are in a creek bottom where they graze and crap and do everything cows do.
Yeah,
it runs off into the creek, but it's in a normal level. It's not.
Yeah.
To any degree that quote unquote pollutes the stream or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm sure God help us if the EPA were to really get involved.
Check
they'd probably tell me,
there's feces everywhere.
But yeah, it's a reasonable, normal air quotes level, and so you don't get into any of those problems. It's kind of like, you see some of those like ridiculous laws that are on the books in some towns,
like you can't collect rainwater.
Well, or no, but like it's like
can't wear yellow pants after midnight or something.
Yeah, just like there's crazy, ridiculous laws, which I can't even think of a good example of one, but it's something like insane. Like, and it's like, so that means that somebody was doing that sort of weird behavior for them to have to pass this law.
Yeah.
Like you can't ride a horse naked in town after midnight or something. Like, so apparently there was somebody that was doing that, and it's just. But
I know, that's why I can't go to Oklahoma anymore.
But clearly, right. It takes a bad actor, somebody, pushing the boundaries of what is quote unquote normal for them to have to then write a law and say, well, you can't do this.
Yeah. Even Dad, like I was telling him about it because he had not heard about it, and he was like, his first reaction was, well, hell yeah, I'm sure the runoff is crazy. And I mean, Dad is not one he's not like an environmental guy.
Right. But
he was like, you got that many cattle in one area. He's like, no wonder. I'm sure the streams are terrible after all that.
Oh, yeah. Well, right. And again, I'm not a big fan of the government coming in and slapping on all kinds of regulations and fines or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I'm a little bit of a hippie.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I would look at that and again, I've never had nearly that many cattle.
I wouldn't want to see my operation doing that.
Right. Well, I'd want to look at a way where, yeah, we're going to capture all this runoff and we're going to utilize it for fertilizer.
Yeah, you can sell it too, make a bunch,
Well,
man.
that's what a lot of dairies and all they've found that, like, yeah, their manure really becomes a commodity for them. Like that's one of their byproducts. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know all the details of the story, but it sounds like they almost got too big too fast and weren't, because I mean, it'd be expensive. You had to set up, drainage, systems and all to capture that runoff and only allow clean water out. Like, yeah, I'm sure it would be really expensive. A big investment, at least up front, but
probably cheaper than all these fines they're about to pay.
You could probably, again, utilize a way where you could collect that manure, buy your manure spreader.
Yep.
Spread it out over your crop ground, your hay ground, and not have to spend quite so much money on fertilizer. And I don't know.
Well, that's what I reached out to the guy. I was curious. I was like, well, let's see if we could get him on the show. Have not had luck making contact.
I would love, if he's listening, we'd love to hear yours.
We're not trying to like villainize you, but I mean, it is just the truth of the matter.
No. When it really comes down to it, when it's any individual versus the government,
I'm usually on the individual side.
Yeah, 99% of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched enough of.
Actually, I can't. And the other 1% of the time, I'm probably just neutral. I'm never going to come down on the government side.
Yeah. Well, that's like I was talking about Waco with somebody just a couple of days ago, and they were like, well, because the Branch Davidians, and they were like, well,
they were weird as
that's
hell.
what he was like. Well, he was raping children and sleep. And I said, well, look, I'm not saying what he was doing.
I don't know if
good.
He was or wasn't, but they didn't have any of that on him.
Yeah.
Like that, they didn't have any of that info to go in there after him. Now, that was kind of more after the fact. He may have been sleeping with underage girls, which is weird because a lot of them, I think their parents were.
Yeah, well, he was sleeping with the moms, too.
Right,
he was sleeping with all of them.
They were weird, messed up people. He was...
But they weren't justified
a master manipulator. Yeah, later. Yeah, the ATF's whole reason to storm that place was a whole pile of bullshit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to get too much off on that rant because I got a little bit of a while we're anti-government.
All right.
So of course, I bought a new farm truck.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, had my drive out tags on it and bought it out of state. So I needed to go get my tags and title it and all, and of course pay the sales tax, of course.
Yeah, pay the king.
So I was kind of dreading that. So yesterday morning, I show up pretty much first thing at the county clerk's office because the only thing worse than having to go and pay your taxes is having to go and stand in line for an hour and then pay your taxes. Well, there's like one person there in front of me. So it was good. I was right to the front of the line. They're like, what do you need? Do you need just your tags or you need title work? I was like, yeah, I need both. They're like, our system is down. And I just got this big shit-eating grin on my face. I wish I could see myself on camera. And they could tell, like I was about to, I was like, I told them, I said, this is a sign from God. They're like, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, we ain't supposed to be paying these taxes. Like,
Did you tell them that?
This is a load of crap. Oh yeah, this is the conversation. Generally I was having with them. And they were like, they were, and I was not like.
You were doing it like being
hardly. I was like, oh no, I'm serious.
You were like, I've got a Komatsu dozer in my shed that I have been welding plates of steel on.
Yeah. If y'all hear some loud clanging outside, you just go ahead and exit the building. But, so I was getting there like, well, let's go ahead and see what you, and she was really helpful. She said, well, let me see all your paperwork. I was like, yeah, because I was like, I remember the last time I tried to do that on the last farm truck I bought, I had to go like 3 times because every time they're like, well, you don't have, I was like, God dang, I'm just trying to pay these damn taxes that I don't want to pay and y'all won't take my damn money.
Yeah.
And it turned out I had all my paperwork and she went through it and she's like, well, this is what you're going to owe. And I was like, that's fantastic. And she was kind of stalled. She's like, I keep hoping the system will come up while you're standing here. And she's like, we'll call you when it comes up. And of course, they called me a couple hours later. And then I go back up there and there's like 8 people in front of me in line. I was like, damn it. But the government got their pound of flesh from me.
Well, that actually is funny. Whenever I bought 2 hopper bottoms last year. And one of them had permanent tags on it, and it came from like somewhere, which most of your semis or like your trailers, they're a one-time fee on like ag trailers.
Which is the way every vehicle should be.
Yes.
I mean, it may, like when it changes ownership, like, but the fact that you have to renew that shit every year is just a total racket.
Well, the deadgum can of sardines that I'm in, or I don't guess I even really worry about it at this point, but I got the titles for both of them. Both guys gave me the title, but they never titled it in their name. So it was from the previous owner. Well, I had the title, so I just was like, all right, well, I'm good. So I went up there to get tags. This has been several months ago. And they were like, well, it's not titled in the back, like the person you bought it from, it's not titled in their name. And I said, well, they bought it from them and they just never put tags on it because they probably slapped a plate on it or something. I said, they just didn't put tags on it. And they're like, well, we can't title it to you. It's going to have to go back. The person that sold it to the person that I bought it from is going to have to, that means they're going to have to pay tags to then let the next person pay tags to allow me to pay for tags. And I was like, there is no way that they're going to do that.
Yeah. Like, I just want to be like, I am trying to give you my damn money.
Yeah.
Just take it. Quit making this That's when you just want to walk out there and just be like, F it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not going to put tags. Like,
Yeah.
it just, which to me, it's insane that, like, you bought a trailer. You came to an agreement with an individual. You bought it. It's yours. You're going to put grain on it to haul it to the grain elevator. Why the fuck does the government need to be involved in that at all? Like,
I agree.
It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like we need to go to like down to like a 6th grade level. If you explain this to a group of 6th graders and they're like, no, that doesn't sound right. Then like, no, it shouldn't be a law.
Yeah.
Like, and property taxes would be the very first one ever.
Yes, it would.
And I actually told those ladies that. I was like, these taxes aren't. I was like, I don't remember how I was just ranting it to them at that point. I was like, property taxes are the worst of all. I was like, it's amazing. You can buy a piece of property, go ahead and pay your taxes on it, but yet you still don't ever actually own it because you still have to pay taxes on it. And I said, and then make it even better. You build a nice house on it or put a business on it or whatever that increases the property value, increases the value of your neighbor's property, and many times because, rising tide lifts all boats.
Yep.
You've made the whole community look better. How do they reward you?
Penalize you with more
taxes.
taxes.
Now your property's worth even more money.
And you got to buy a building permit
to build
on there.
You stimulated the local economy by building a nice structure on it. You created all these jobs. Like that, the government just screws you and screws you and all right. We got to change the subject before.
You're getting like Hank Hill. Actually, this is, I might have this on my phone. I need to play this right now because this is like exactly, it's making me think of, here we go. I know darn well I got this.
It makes me ask, like if you bought a property and turned it into just like a total shithole eyesore that just bottomed out your property values, they reward you because your property value. And then your neighbor's property is now worth less because you got a damn junkyard on your place.
Yeah.
And so you've pissed everybody off, but you actually get rewarded for doing that by paying less taxes. But heaven forbid you do something good. Like, oh, yeah, congratulations, buddy. We appreciate you being a productive member of our community and helping us out. Now you get to pay more taxes. Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
Unless you're a really big corporation that comes in, and then we're going to give you all the tax credits. Yeah.
Of this community with propane and propane.
Hold on. Dang it. This is one of my favorite little clips from King of the Hill.
I'm familiar with King of the Hill. I was never like a regular viewer, so I don't know that I'm familiar with this.
You would appreciate some King of the Hill. This was actually the very first episode of King of the Hill.
Oh, okay.
The child services guy comes because Bobby, he has a black eye, and they're like saying that Hank did it, and Hank didn't do it, and or something happened to him. But anyway, child services gets called, and this is a little pencil neck dude that's coming to like get on to him, and Hank like loses his freaking shit.
Gobbledygook. I provide the people of this community with propane and propane accessories. Oh, when I think of all my hard-earned tax dollars going to pay a bunch of little twig boy bureaucrats like you, it just makes me want to... Oh, God, it just...
Hank?
Honey, bring me my BC headache powder and a glass of water.
All right, Hank.
Now you listen here. You see that boy? That's my boy. And if you ever try to take...
he gets on a rant, but it's one of my favorites because he turns red and he's like, oh, yeah. but that's what I'm imagining. Like, I feel like you and Hank would connect well there.
Yeah, I was having so many thoughts going through my head.
You need to watch
those poor ladies that worked there, which we kept it very cordial. But
well, here you go. We'll go to an easier subject now. So next question comes in from Aaron Tong. Aaron writes in, came across your show during hay season this summer. Really enjoy listening to you all. It makes walking my turkey barns go a little quicker. I have 6 contract turkey barns, around 5,500 in each barn. Dang, good deal. That's pretty awesome.
Turkey is an inferior protein, but hey, somebody's got to eat it.
Oh, so. Hey, actually, real quick before I go any further.
No, I'm just kidding.
I do got to say.
We eat turkey once a year. It's so good we eat it once a year.
I do got to say we offended our sheep farmers.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I had somebody, I don't remember, it may be an email.
Both of them?
Yeah, it's probably not, but very many. But somebody did write in and was like, hey, man, what's wrong with sheep? Like, and it may be an email. I don't remember. If I'll look for it, actually. Just remind me after we get done here. All right, they got around 5,500 each barn and row crop farm with my father-in-law. Also run my own operation, which primarily sells grass, hay, alfalfa, corn stalks, and straw. I live in an area with a high Amish population and do a lot of custom work for the Amish as well as sell them a lot of hay and straw. He said, if you ever want to have a Midwestern on the podcast, let me know. Well done, guys. Keep up the good work. So no question, just telling us, man, hey, that's awesome. Got a iron and a lot of fires. And dude, I feel like that's the way to be. Like, yeah,
that's what we were talking about last week. Yeah.
Diversity,
getting in those niche markets. Yeah, because obviously, I don't know if turkey was really being a niche market, but yeah, selling all the different, hay, trying to, find a value-added product, that sort of thing. Absolutely.
Yeah. Dang, actually, I'd missed quite a few questions.
Yeah, we don't hate sheep. I love lamb chops.
Yeah.
We don't eat them enough, just as a country as a whole. But
I'm not a fan.
I mean, sheep are just, like I said, and I've never raised sheep in my life, but anybody that raised sheep will tell you, maybe not these individuals, but
yeah.
Well, William Lee, it's about the 4th time we've referenced on here, but said, yeah, they're born, they raise up their head, and they immediately start looking for a place to die.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let me see here. I had actually missed some questions, some in the back. Sorry, guys. If it's been a while since you sent in a message and we haven't gotten to it, just shoot it over to us again. So this one, we appreciate you writing in, Aaron. We always appreciate just hearing the support and all that. So Andrew writes in, hey, fellas, love the podcast. I'm 28, have been farming with my family my whole life, 3rd-generation row crop farmer. My wife and I raised some pigs on pasture farrow to finish for local sales, friends, and family. I also run a trucking business with my dad and run a square baling business. Again, diversified, man. Nothing too big, a few thousand bales a year for local market. My question is, I'm looking to start a channel of my own to cover the things I do on our farm. Our farm being somewhat diverse, I'd like to know what camera you guys like and audio stuff for being outside for quality and somewhat on a budget. Any feedback would be really good. Appreciated, good, bad, or indifferent. Keep up the good content. I feel like we did that here recently, kind of went over it a little bit.
You don't need much at all to get going. I'll tell you, like, just recording with your phone on a windy day is not very good.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of wind interference.
But you can get a GoPro for $250.
I actually smashed another one of mine. It still works, but I'm worried that it's going to quit. And so I ordered the exact same one refurbished off eBay for $200.
There you go.
That didn't come with any accessories because all my accessories are still working. But yeah, you can.
Well, that's what you need to start with. Just get a GoPro.
Yeah, I would.
And start with that.
I started with just a phone. I'd probably say spend the $250, $300, get you a GoPro with the basic accessories.
Yeah.
But I don't have any special microphone or anything on mine.
I don't either.
I've got the little noise canceling, like little foam cover for the wind, which
I take that off a lot.
I never take mine off.
Well, see, I talk behind the camera a lot, and it blocks the mic.
Oh, that's why mine always.
Yeah, if you're behind it, you almost have to be like, "Hey, everybody!"
I've always noticed, like when I do that, but I'm like, Hell, I've been doing YouTube like 4 years, and I learned something new tonight. But
just pop
my
that thing
GoPro.
off.
but yeah, on a windy day, it's just like foam, over your microphone and it's
because if you look at the back of it, it's got a hard plastic.
Okay, well that makes sense now.
Yeah.
But it because of course the wind's blowing almost all the time. It seems like even a light wind will really get a lot of interference, just like on your microphone. But
Yeah.
I've looked at maybe getting like I guess
lapel
are they like
mic?
Bluetooth where you clip them on your and it Bluetooths to your.
I got the lapel mics over there.
But do they connect to your GoPro?
I don't know. I bet you they got some that do. Which a lot of them guys use. They're using what do they call those cameras? DSL, LS.
Shoot, I wouldn't.
XLR can't. No, these are XLR cables. It's a lot of guys use like a nice camera that you would see like photographers using. They use those. They got a video mode and they've got like a handle on them, and they'll even have nice mics, but they can Bluetooth to a lapel mic.
Because you see some guys, they're either like if they're doing an interview, they're holding a little tiny microphone. Or,
Yeah, I hate those. So
Okay.
stupid. I don't know. I don't hate them for the performance. I just hate how dumb they look. The little bitty mics where they're like holding them.
the one person I'm thinking of who always uses one, it kind of fits with his character.
Is it Randy?
It's Randy.
Yes, it does fit him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get cracked up just thinking about Randy. We love you, Randy.
We do. All right. Next one here. Well, hey, if you need specific, just get a GoPro. That's the best thing. And don't worry about getting the newest one. Look on eBay, find you one.
Yeah, I don't even know what number they're up to now, but the one I just
13 or
smashed was an 11.
Yeah.
And so I just went on eBay, which I am kind of just like a brand new one's not that much more expensive than I had to pay for a refurbished one that's 2 years old.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I mean, you can use your phone if it's not real windy. Phones, I mean, like my phone here will shoot in 8K.
Well, every now and then, like I won't have the GoPro because I don't think there's gonna be anything cool, and then there'll be something I'm like, crap, I need to record this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pull out the phone, or sometimes the battery will go dead on the camera, and so I'll use the phone.
Yep.
So phone works just fine.
Just start is what I would say.
Start doing it your first few videos, unless
They're going to be terrible.
You're really already skilled behind a mic or in front of a camera. Are gonna suck. So you just start doing it. Get the first few out there, just to get your feet wet and roll with it.
Yep.
And
All
just,
right.
and just keep doing it. That's the main thing.
That is the main thing. That's what I'm trying to do now. Don't be sporadic. That's what I was, and it doesn't work well. All right. Bethany writes in, love your all's podcast. Best part of my Friday. Well, I love when people say that. Like that's just good to hear.
Let's be honest. Friday is just a damn good day.
It is,
Which for Logan, people like Logan, Friday, Monday, Sunday, it's all the same. But for those of us who do have a regular job, at least as well, Friday's a damn good day.
Yep. And that is so. I feel like it's good that we release them on Friday. It's like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So I heard your discussion of EID tags being considered voluntary for cattle to track disease. It sounds exactly like the Scrappy program for goats, but the USDA made it mandatory.
Yeah, Scrapey. Yeah.
Okay, Scrapey. Yeah. The ID tags or the 840 ID microchips are tied to our USDA farm number, and it is illegal to remove the tags.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the same way for cattle if you're using them.
Yeah. If we do not tag the animal and the animal arrives at a sale, the sale barn is responsible for tagging the animal prior to selling. Keep fighting it as it comes up because you all hit the nail on the head. It tells Uncle Sam who owns what and what small producer to target next.
Yeah, well, that was the whole thing. It was going to be voluntary, but they wanted the USDA to go ahead and put rules in place. We're like, whoa.
But it's voluntary.
It's voluntary. There are no rules. I mean, that's the definition of being voluntary.
Yeah.
But that was the whole thing. Like it was only going to be it was going to be voluntary
for a little while,
for a very brief period, and then it was going to be like, yeah, we're going to just remove the voluntary, just strike through that part of it, and you got to have an EID.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry, Bethany. We are not down with the mandatory EID.
Yeah, and thankfully that one got there was enough outcry. The NCBA, I don't think anticipated how much pushback they would get on that. I've still got kind of a mixed feelings with the Tennessee Cattlemen's Association on that, with the way they kind of handled it. They did vote against it, but it was They pretty much said they voted against it, but they were really mad. They were mad at Corbett Wall for stirring up all the trouble over it, and it was actually probably a good thing.
Well, I hope we can get him on the show, man. I'd like to tell. That'd be fun.
He'd be a good guest for sure.
Yeah. Well, Bethany, we appreciate you writing in. We love that it brightens your Friday, and you ain't got to worry. We're on the same page here. So next question or next write-in comes from Aaron. All right, look forward to listening to a new podcast every Friday. Keep up the good work. Question for Bobby Lee. Oh, wait a minute. This is the one we did. When you buy your non-GMO corn. We did that one.
So that's why you think we got a lot of questions.
Yeah. Yeah. I had missed some of those. I apologize for some of you other folks. All right, Aaron, we've already answered that one. Hey, if you're listening still, let us know, why'd you think Bobby Lee used non-GMO corn? I'm intrigued. I'm actually intrigued. All right.
I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah. Okay, Saqib Asan Tamim writes in, so how are things going for you? I want to ensure that this email doesn't take more than 2 minutes of your time because I understand the value of time.
Let me guess. We got a Nigerian prince who wants to leave $10 million to our name.
Yeah, this is... I got to read this because this is kind of comical.
This one should have gone to the spam folder.
It should have. Sorry, Saqib. I went to your YouTube channel and saw that you give very informative video. Podcast is now very trending. If you reach your video, people will thankful to you. I'm reading this as it's wrote.
All right, let's go to the next one.
They will know many things. They will learn from your video.
We still got to talk Farmer Wants a Wife.
They will pleasure. Are they going to pleasure themselves to our videos?
Man, we might have some female audience. Yeah, we're not reading that.
Maybe some of these audiences are pleasuring themselves to our videos. Saqib, I don't know.
Hey, leave a comment below.
Are you asking if they do?
No, I'm saying if you pleasure yourself to the videos.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah. Actually, another one.
I'm not going to hold my breath, but
yeah. Let us know.
What was his name again?
Saqib.
Let Saqib know
if you pleasure yourself to our videos. And then we got another one from Tamim.
This has gone completely off the rails.
Tamim writes in, so how are things going for you? I want to ensure it's the same.
I'm pretty sure I know where that was going.
Come on, man. He used his first name, here was Saqib Asan Tamim. This dude emailed us again, this spam dude, and he didn't even have the gonads to at least use a different name. He still used Tamim.
So it turns out we didn't have that many questions.
Let's see. All right, that's another one here. Okay, Tyler Bolin writes in, Bobby Lee, what's the difference in your squeeze shoot and what's the difference in your squeeze shoot and which one do you like better?
Ooh, I get that question a lot on YouTube. So I have a Prefert.
Hold on, first, thank you, Tyler, for not telling us that you are here to pleasure yourself to our videos and that you're actually got a question.
Yes, we do.
Actually, that would almost make me feel good about myself, depending on the source.
Yeah, depending on who it is, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're open-minded dudes. I mean, I don't know if there's a dude out there pleasuring himself. I mean,
that'd be weird.
I'm not into that sort of thing.
We're both just sitting here podcasting. Some dude's viciously at home watching this like that. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
What a turn this is taking. What a turn. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Tyler just want to know about squeeze shoots. So, I've got a Prefert at my house. That was kind of my original first one I ever had. And then I cannot ever remember which model it is, but it's CMB Farm Plus Outdoors out of Athens, Alabama. One of their squeeze shoots on the farm where we keep our yearlings or our stockers. Man, I like things about both of them. The head gates are the main difference. The C&B is kind of more like the old WW style. The gates swing back. It's just like one we got out here. Yep, they run in. It catches them automatically, very easy. And the Prefert, it claims that it's got automatic or manual, but it's more like pretty much you're manually catching them.
Ooh, I don't think I'd like that very much.
In some ways,
I guess it'd be better for a
because the
longhorn.
automatic, if they don't hit it just right, it won't catch them, and then they don't want to hit it again.
Yeah.
There are parts of the C&B I like the side access doors.
Yeah.
That you can drop down. Like if you need to work on a foot, or you're more often it's just when we're castrating one. If something happened, like both my squeeze chutes got stolen tonight, and I had to replace them both, I'd probably go back with the C&B.
Yeah.
And they make numerous different models with different style head gates, different style tailgates, with a palpation cage attached, without. Mine does not have a palpation cage on it, but I've actually added a palpation cage separately. Yeah, I would probably lean towards the C&B. I like the way the squeeze works on it.
What about AeroQuip?
So AeroQuip, I've never had one. Is my simple answer.
They look sharp. I looked at one.
From what I see out of them, they're kind of the Cadillac.
I guess you're gonna pay the Cadillac price.
Yeah, you pay a little more for them. There's a lot of good ones out there. You need to get one you're comfortable with. I
would want that side access panel.
Oh yeah. It's I don't know. The Preferred is just fine. Like I find very little to knock it on, but if you're in the general area, kind of North Alabama, which we're not that close to them, relatively speaking, we're a couple 100 miles away.
Yeah.
I would say check out C&B. If you're really close to them, I'd go by there and look at them, because I've never been there. I've just always ordered from them, had it delivered. But if you look at like any of their videos and whatnot on Facebook, they have a ton of inventory.
Yeah.
And check them out.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you writing in. Hope we answered that question. We got to do this one right here. Then we'll get into our Farmer Wants Wife update. But this is the one I was looking for. So Steve writes in, avid listener and re-listen to the Ag Zaga podcast. 2 comments. First, man, a re-listen. That's really cool.
Yeah, dedication.
It is. So he says, wow, the hate on sheep. We actually turn production poultry houses and raise feedlot lambs inside the chicken houses, much like the pork guys have done. Yes, sheep look for a place to die as soon as they are born. Everyone says sheep are stupid. They aren't stupid. Just look at life differently. Now, look, Steve, I appreciate you being a fan. We're a fan of yours. But, dude, they're stupid. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, I'm not even going to say, I think a lot of animals, relatively speaking.
Most of them that we eat are stupid.
I mean, yeah. I always say, like with cattle, like there's a reason we eat them.
Yes.
And not the other way around.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're livestock.
Yeah. I mean, anytime they do something really dumb, like, yep, this is another example of why we get to eat them.
And I'm not laughing at you. I'm just tripping out. Like, it's like, it says yes.
But no, I am not, like, it crosses my mind every now and then, like, man, would it make sense for us to have, a few sheep? Again, that
I just
diversify.
I just love this one phrase. Like, I would actually like to put this. Dude, Steve, you need to make shirts and you need to put this on there. Everyone says sheep are stupid. They aren't stupid. They just look at life differently. That's like a very glass half full mentality, man. I appreciate it. Steve seems like a really positive guy to hang out with.
Yeah.
Man, I like your attitude, Steve. All right, man.
I wasn't kidding earlier. Like, I love lamb chops. Like,
I need to try them again.
It is a shame, like, that we don't eat more lamb. And more beef.
I need to try them. Yeah, more beef. But I need
y'all
to
ever
try
cook lamb chops?
No, I've only had them at Texas Day Brazil, and I did not like them.
Well, no. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe you didn't like them, but for those people not familiar, if you're not familiar with Texas Day Brazil, that's what they call it, Brazilian style steakhouse, where they bring out all the different meats and you just get to eat as much as you want.
Yeah, I got terrible food poisoning from there.
I would always say my favorite thing to eat there
is the garlic sirloin.
Probably.
Yeah,
it's always going to be steak, but all right, let's take steak off the list because I'm always biased there. Is the lamb chop. My least favorite is the leg of lamb.
Okay. I don't remember which one it was.
So leg of lamb.
It had a very strong taste.
Yes. It smells like a damn goat is like sitting on the table, and tastes kind of like it too.
That's probably what I had.
But lamb chops, which lamb chops are hard to find. You almost got to go to like a specialty, butcher shop to get them. But oh man, I'll buy them every now and then whenever we can find them.
Yeah.
And my wife and I both love them.
Well, I'll have to try them because this tasted. I
they're
told somebody
small. You're going to eat 3 or 4. You're going to eat just one little chop. Bigger.
But I told somebody it tasted like if I imagine eating an old person.
That was probably leg of lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're Like when they come by with the leg lamb, I'm like, no, you just keep going.
Yeah.
It's like the chicken. I'm here all you can eat meat. I'm not going to fill up on the chicken. I'm not falling for that trick.
I did love garlic sirloin there, but I will never go back.
Yeah.
I was violently ill for like 5 days.
My strategy when I go there, and I know a lot of people have probably been there and they know what we're talking about, but they have like the world's greatest salad bar.
Yeah, you just don't eat there.
No, they're trying to get you, and it's tough. Like you're like that, like whole like slabs of bacon on the salad bar, which hey, I'm not opposed to that. Like the lobster bisque soup.
Yeah.
But yeah, because then they're going to come by with all the steak
stuff
for you to eat, and they want you to be full, or at least part of the way there before the steak comes.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't even tell you the last time we've been there. It's probably been 3 or 4 years, but
I can tell you.
I typically will fast all day. I won't eat before we go.
Yeah.
I'm the redneck that they hate to see coming in the door.
Yeah, you're going to get your pay, your money's worth,
and
which
then,
you got to eat a lot.
And then when they
worth.
send you to the salad bar when you first walk in, I just walk straight by it. I don't even look at it.
Yeah. Now,
like start bringing the meat.
It was our first anniversary date. I took Marcy there.
Yeah.
And we got home. We went to some friend's house, and she didn't make it very long before she was like, I need to go home. And so I took her home, and I went back over to our friend's house, and I got home, and then it hit me, and I was like projectile shitting and vomiting for literally days.
Oh, Lord.
So, yeah, I don't go back. And the worst part was went to the friend's house.
Good.
Yeah, the garlic sirloin was very good.
It was probably the salad bar that got you sick.
I've always said I think it was the salad bar or the lamb is what I've told people. But
now, you watch like how often there's recalls on salad for like E. coli.
Oh yeah,
it's 1,000 times more often than for me.
I was so sick, man. But the worst part was I ate a piece of pecan pie at my buddy's house, and that was actually the last food that touched my tongue. And so I didn't eat pecan, and I used to love pecan pie with ice cream.
Yeah.
I didn't eat any it took me like 8 years to eat pecan pie again.
Oh, damn.
So, but, and
I like pecan pie. That's a staple of the South.
I can eat it now, but honestly, I don't enjoy it as much anymore. And Steve, I'm not shitting on you, man. I'm not joking. Like, I would not be opposed. If I could see a good side to raising sheep and it makes sense, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Oh, no.
I mean, yeah.
I've got good friends that have raised sheep, and I
hate on horses all the time, so don't take it personally. Like I think horses are dumber than any animal in existence.
I hate on horses. Not what horse people are dumb. Horses aren't real smart, but it's the horse people.
And Bobby Lee is a horse person, so he's speaking from experience.
I'm married to one.
Yeah. All right. He says listening to the fellow from Agsaga and listening to him talk about net wrap and silage stuff is very interesting. I wondered if you could possibly get us connected. I grew up and still support both FFA and 4-H. After listening about the FFA net wrap, I'd love to see the same love for 4-H. We can mention something to Jared about that. I'll be honest, I don't know much about that because, like, where Bobby Lee and I went to school, we didn't have any of this. We had no ag.
Yeah, we didn't have FFA. I mean, I'm a big believer. I think FFA and 4-H are great. I was never a part of either.
Not by choice. We just didn't have the option.
I take that back. When I got to college, I was in the collegiate FFA, but collegiate FFA it was not like a super active thing at all.
Yeah,
like we just
country guys getting drunk.
It wasn't even that. Like we just had meetings. Like the fraternity was more of that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't like a real active thing.
Yeah.
Like I at least heard that the high school FFA was where it was super involved.
Well, we'll mention that to Jared and just see. I mean, hey man, you never know. I don't know what the process is to getting the wrap stuff set up, but we'll certainly mention it to him. Steve, we appreciate you writing in. Just know if we hate on your sheep, it's always tongue in cheek. That's just how we like to do. We like to have a good time. Caught up. So we got some more questions. You guys are gonna have to wait till next week because we gotta update our guy that really is wanting us to talk about it. Hey man, I will mention we got quite a few listeners that also enjoy Farmer Wants a Wife.
We got some who do, some who don't. That's fine.
Yep.
Hey,
yep.
It takes all of us to make the world go around.
It does. I mean, some people pleasure themselves to our videos. So
hey,
I mean,
that's a great example. It takes all types.
It does.
I don't even want to know who those types are.
So what's your?
But we appreciate you listening, and please leave a rating and a review.
That's right. That's right. What? So what are your recent thoughts? You said you're caught up.
So I feel like the Tennessee boy Mitchell, his is over.
You think it's the country chick?
Yeah, the
What's her name? Sandy?
Sydney?
Sandra?
Sydney
Samsonite? Swanson?
Samsonite. It's right there on the briefcase. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
the
done.
brunette girl from New Jersey whose dad's like a construction dude. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
She's hot and she can do stuff on the farm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, she's very attractive.
Yeah.
So I feel like his is over, and I thought Ty's was over. Like
Do you think it was the chick that was like really cool?
Yeah, that was like, hey Ty, you need to go and do the dates with these other girls.
Dude,
then they kind of throwed some drama in there at the end of episode 4, where she was like, they were showing like the preview of the next one, and she's like, I better get picked for the next one.
I know. We were
like,
just
damn
praising her.
Girl, you were like the leader in the clubhouse, and you've gone and screwed it up. But I don't know. Maybe there was some stuff behind the scenes we hadn't seen. But because I was like, those two are done. Like he's definitely picking her. But I do think Mitchell is done.
Yeah, I do too.
Mitchell's is sewn up and over with. I mean,
yeah.
Like,
Brandon and Nathan,
like they'll try to do something to dramatize it up, but
like she'll tell him that she's a man or something. You know?
Well, short of something like that, like a bombshell, or like her having to leave the show because a family member gets sick or something. Like he's picking her.
You heard it here first, folks. We're saying that's who's going to be.
If you can, if there's gambling odds out there for you to bet, that.
Bobby Lee will reimburse you if you lose.
Yeah, I would say you can't get very good odds on her. I mean, she's going to be, you know.
Yeah, she's got to be the winning pick by landslide.
Yeah, she's going to be the heavy favorite.
Brandon and Nathan, it's still a total crapshoot.
Oh, right. I have no idea.
Like, I did appreciate, I got a kick out of Nathan's where he took that chick out on their little date. And he's like, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? And she's like,
he took her out there just to break it off.
He did. But she was like, oh, you know, traveling, partying, having a good time, maybe married. What about you? Well, married, having kids, not partying, not traveling. Like, it's like, basically.
Well, it's almost like what kind of pissed me off.
Why would she even go on the show?
Kind of, yeah.
Yes.
Like at the end of last season, the only couple that made it all the way through, like by the time the show even aired, they were still together. I can't ever remember his name. The Georgia boy. Hunter. Yeah.
Hunter and Megan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Tennessee girl. And
again, we don't know the details, and I mean, you get way more personal with them than is normal when you watch these shows. But,
yeah.
So I don't know. It may not be any of our business why they broke up, but the kind of general storyline why they broke up was she didn't want to move to the farm with him.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole premise of the MF show is that you're gonna move to the farm to live with the farmer. Like,
yeah.
And I know maybe her mind changed, but it's like, God dang, like
that's why you're there.
Like I'm not in favor of domestic violence, but like you just want to slap her. You're like, are you kidding me? Like,
well, dude, that's what
it just makes you want to scream.
That's what gets me with the chick that Nathan was talking to, and she's like, you know, her 5-year plan.
Well, he says like, yeah, I don't do a lot of traveling. Cows got to be fed.
Yeah, and I told Marcy, like, we were talking about that, and I was like, I greatly appreciated that because he's like,
oh, we were watching that. My wife was sitting there too, and she was like yelling at the TV. She's like, no, she's like, he's never going to want to go anywhere because the cows. Like, it was totally, she was making, you know,
a jab at
me.
Yeah, so it's true, man. It's true that there is always something.
Hell, we get away like once a year.
Yeah. See, and I have crippling anxiety.
We get a lot of like 2 and 3 night getaways.
Yeah,
like
y'all do better than me.
Like, I mean, going out of town for a quick horse show weekend or a quick softball weekend, it's taking off for like a week at a time. Like right now, like we're cabbing. Like like we need to go away for a night or two for something. Okay, sure. But I can't be gone a week right now. And then during the summer, it's like, shit. Sure as we're going to be gone somewhere, it's going to be perfect hay cutting weather. It's going to be raining for like a month straight, and then it's going to stop raining right when we're scheduled to go out of town. You're like, God dang.
Well, that's how, now that I've added the farm store into the mix, that's what I told Marcy, because like her sister was planning their lake trips because her parents and them have a lake house. I never win hardly anyways because it's always in the middle. I'm always spraying or planting when they go. And so I'm like, well, I'm not going to be able to go. So she just knows she goes without me. Well, they were planning. She's like, all right, we're going this weekend. Her sister was saying that. And I said, whoa. I said, we got a farm store now. I said, we got produce. I said, this stuff's growing. We're going to have stuff growing all year. So this is seasonal. I said, I ain't doing all this by myself. I said, because I'm already going to be spread out on the row crop and stuff. So I was like, now you can't be planning all these lake trips without not thinking about our schedule. And she was like, I know. And so, which I was kind of joking, but at the same time, it's like, well, really, that does add a layer because, yeah, I mean, if I'm gone, I'm thinking of the dozer and traco work I need to be doing. I do have my random livestock that I'm thinking about. And it's always something. I mean, seriously, when I travel, I have crippling anxiety.
Well, sometimes, like, depending on, I mean, obviously you got to get away. Sometimes you want to go make memories with the family, that sort of stuff. But a lot of times, like, I'm planning a trip and it's like the whole thinking about the trip is fun. And then when you actually get down to lining up everything that has to be done at home, you're like, this is more trouble than it's worth. Like, it's better if, like, I just don't go.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't want to send the family off, without me. But
yeah. I made a note that I meant to mention, and this was on like the first or second episode of Farmer Wants a Wife, and it was the Sydney chick. All right, her name is Sydney. I made a note because I told Marcy we were watching. I said, I got to mention that on air. So Mitchell was checking out her tits on there, and the camera caught him. And I don't fault the guy, but it was just funny.
I mean, like, you called him? Like, I mean...
Yeah,
I would say called him's kind of a harsh word. Like,
well, like, I feel like they try
he's being a man.
Yeah, I feel like they try to, like, not let them be, like, sexual on there.
Well, it is on network television, but I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, it was a quick scene, and that's what I told Marcy. I said, he just checked out her tits. And she was like... What? He did not. And I said, look. So I rewound it. She's like, don't rewind it. And there's a part, they're like laying by the water. And it's a quick cut scene. So you don't know what's being said, but you see her really giggling and he is really giggling. And she's like pulls up on her thing and he's like staring down there. And I was like, yeah, he was just checking out the honkers.
Well, I mean...
I don't fault the guy.
Well, look, and I don't fault her for showing them off. I mean, that's
she's
like,
trying to lure the man in there.
It's all
in there,
primal.
Man.
Like, I mean,
They know what, like, all of the chicks. Marcy and I watch it, and I always point out, I'm like, look at what they're wearing. Which I listened to Discover Ag and Tara and that other girl, Natalie. They actually talked about it on there.
Yeah, they did mention it. I heard that.
Yep, and they were talking about the way they dress and. Like, and they were like, season 1 was terrible. They're like, these chicks were coming out in like high heel boots, like try to shovel cow shit or something, and couldn't even walk around. They're doing a little better on their shoes, I feel like, probably to work, but they still come out. Man, some of them chicks will have on like, one chick had on like a legging bodysuit thing that, like, I mean, you could have painted her, like, I mean, like every inch of her body you could have painted, like,
yeah.
So. It's funny, man. You can tell they know what they're doing. They're trying to lure the man in. They need to do a show. Tell you what they need to do. They need to do a show where the chick has to wear like hoodie and big baggy sweatpants the whole time. And she can't wear any makeup. Or no, she has to be heavily maked up on the face. So, like, you don't really know what you're getting. That'd be kind of a funny show. And you don't know if she's fat or not because, like, it's real baggy. So, like, you never know until you pick her at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
And you have to marry her.
This, like, might get us canceled. But, like, I think that there's a lot more to picking up partner or spouse than just physical attraction. I mean.
But it's a very important aspect.
That is right. Like, anybody out there who's saying that, like, that doesn't play a role.
You're a liar.
Yeah, you're lying. Like,
you're a liar.
That's the first thing. Like,
it is.
I mean, I don't know. I guess some people meet, like, maybe over the internet or whatever, and they get to, like, know each other before they ever actually see them. But, like, no, for the most part, like, when I first saw my wife, the first thing I thought was, because before I ever even heard the other one speak, I was like, this chick's hot.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm attracted physically to her.
Yes.
And then it's like, then we get to talk and like, oh, okay, we've got stuff in common. Wow. Yeah.
Even better. Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, I tell my wife all the time, if she's ever feeling down about herself, I'm like, look, you're married to me. And I said, I'm not saying I'm a hot guy, but I'm saying I am very shallow. and I've always been very shallow. So I said, if you're with me, you passed the good looks test.
Yeah.
So I said, that should make you feel better. And she's always like, you're terrible. but it's true.
My wife gets mad or gets so tired of me talking about how hot she is.
You never watched The Office, did you?
Now I'm familiar with it. I think I've seen an episode or two, and of course, because memes have like taken over the world, like I understand like a lot of the references because of all the thousands of memes.
I sent Marcy one the other day just about that, and it shows it's when he's this guy Andy that works there. He's talking to him, but it says, when I tell my wife constantly, or my wife's reaction to me telling her how hot and sexy she is all day long, and then it shows like the other guy, and he's like, shut up, and then the other dude goes, sorry I annoyed you with my friendship. And like that's what I sent that to Marcy, because yeah, it's like funny. You talk about how hot they are all the time. They're like, would you shut up? And it's like, I'm literally complimenting you on your looks.
Yeah.
So, I guess we got to do our company, man. I almost forgot. We got to talking so much. Hold on. Are you make a pick on, you picked Sydney for Mitchell.
Yeah.
So you're changing. I'll tell you what did throw Ty for a loop is when he said he didn't want to have kids anymore. Now all those women are like, whoa, they're all kind of backing up a little bit.
Which I understand, like, and I don't have as much problem with them balking at that, because, like, that's not a prerequisite to be on the show. Like,
yes.
Like,
yeah.
You can only come on the show if you don't want to have kids. Like, no,
Yeah.
but the whole thing of, like, you're going to live on the farm with this dude one day. Like, that is, like, the whole premise of the entire show.
So who do you think Ty's going to end up with?
I don't know any of their names. But I would still say
think
it's
the same chick.
It's that one original girl.
I want to say Brooke, but I don't think that's right.
They're really close in age too. He's like 42, she's like 38.
Yeah.
Because the one he talked to that's like, oh, I really want to have kids, well, she's only like 31.
Well, the one he went on the date with was 38, and she said she wants to have kids too.
Okay. Yeah, that was
Because
right.
I was like, boy, the biological clock is ticking. She better get rolling.
Well, I kind of had that thought, and I kind of felt bad because I was like, well, it's, poor gal. Like,
I know.
But
I know, but it's true.
Yeah,
it is true. It's like if we got a cow out there and she's like 25 years old, it's like I don't know if I want her calf. We got some.
we're getting near to the end here, but I remember my wife and I don't say where we were, but we were like in a professional setting.
I remember this story.
She was meeting some people that like I kind of knew, but I didn't really know very well. I'd never met them in person, and they were like, "Oh, and I was like, oh yeah, this is my wife, Kaylin." And he was like, "Oh, you have any kids?" And she was like, we're like, no, not yet. She's like, how old are you? And I remember how old we were. He's like, this dude's serious as a heart attack. Was like, I was like, well, if you're going to have kids, you need to be thinking about it. The female body's not made to be having kids in their 30s. And was serious as a heart attack. And dude's brilliant. He's a doctor. I know. Like,
he didn't mean it to be an ass.
No, like he was just very factual and to the point. He's right. Like, I mean, if we want to be real about it, it's awful. I have a daughter that's basically 10. Like, we're made to start having kids when we're like 15.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to be a granddad the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Lord willing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like we're not biologically designed to be having kids in our 30s. Entirely possible. My wife had 2 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, our daughter was born. So
what was Kevin, like 28?
No, we would have both been 30. I would have been, she would have been born. I'm having to do all my years. Yeah, it would have been. We were both 30 when my daughter was born.
Yeah. All right. Well, who are you picking?
And that's my oldest one.
For the
I don't know names.
Brandon
is.
He has all the women.
It ain't gonna be Reba.
No, Reba burned her bridge.
I guess if I had to pick one right now, I'd say Joy.
Yeah. He sent home the one chick that sent her home.
Lord, Logan.
She just looked bad. She looked very sick.
I didn't even notice that.
Her eyes were very dark. That's the only way I can describe it.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
See, she looked sick. I'm just saying what people are thinking.
I would have said like maybe a substance abuse problem or something.
Okay, so she looked like a crackhead. That's more appropriate.
She was too skinny.
She was way too skinny. and her eyes were sunken
Yeah,
in.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. She just, I'm sorry. She didn't look good.
Yeah.
But,
apologies. We like a little more curve on our woman.
Yeah. Yeah. But, and I feel bad. I will say I feel bad for the black girl because she's really nice, but he's not going to pick her.
Yeah. She's really pretty.
She is. She's really pretty and she's really nice.
But yeah, it's
like, I feel like he almost left her there out of sympathy.
well, or you wonder if like production's like, look, dude,
Hey,
we
man,
know you're not going
need
to,
some diversity. In
right.
This.
We're just going to, you got to leave her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's awful to have to say that. But like, part of me is like he doesn't ever even talk to her. Like,
No.
it's like, she's just there.
No, and that's why, like, I honestly feel bad for her. Like,
Yeah.
I feel bad for the chick because I'm like, man, she's so bubbly and nice, and like I wish she was a bitch, so that then I could be like, would you get her off the show?
Yeah, wish it was either that or you wished he was like really into her. So
Yeah.
yeah, one way or the other. But
Yeah. I don't know,
I don't-
Joy, but I think the chick.
because it's not going to be like I said. I think Reba's burned the bridges, and she had it all set up, and she just totally she went batshit crazy.
Grace, that's her name. She's the one that's going to win on him. Grace
I
is the one.
I can't even picture her.
He took her on a date. She's kind of shorter. She's a
oh,
little
they
thicker.
went in the back of the truck.
Yeah, yeah. He kissed her passionately.
Passionately.
It was like the Last of the Mohicans moment when the chick is like, "What are you looking at?" And he goes, "I'm looking at you, miss." That's what it was like.
Yeah, and again, I'm the same way with Nathan's girls. I can't name a single one of them.
Yeah, I can't name them. I just thought it was funny the way he sent that chick home. But he is working down, man. He's down to like 3 now.
Yeah.
He kind of got thrown a curveball because
I mean,
the one chick didn't get to come.
Yeah, you're right. Which they might throw us a curveball and let her come back.
I feel like it'd be kind of dirty at this point.
Yeah, but if like it's getting to where it's apparent like he's not matching up with any of these chicks, it'd be like Ryan from last season. Poor Ryan, like
He got nothing.
Yeah,
Man, yeah, you got nothing.
yeah. Last season was kind of it's like, dang.
I didn't even think I was like, they're not going to do another season after
Yeah.
how badly last season went.
Yeah, the whole Megan thing. Like I have
You're still mad about that one.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, damn it, girl. Like,
Yeah.
and Hunter was maybe the most genuine of all the guys. And
I
like,
was more frustrated about the I can't even remember her name now, but the one that Alan picked because she
Kelsey.
moved from Georgia. I know it's not crazy far, but she literally moved here to Tennessee to date this guy, and something went down. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Alan, I had told you guys Alan was supposed to come on the show, and maybe he still will, but we never could make it align because I'd like to know what the heck happened because I was rooting for Kelsey.
Yeah, as we're sitting here speaking, episode 5 has already dropped. So
I know if I go in, I could watch it, but my wife would be pretty pissed.
yeah, I'm not gonna. When I get home, I'm going to bed.
Oh man, I still got about 3 hours in the tank.
Whew, it's 10:15. Yeah,
All right,
We're gonna wrap it up.
Commander in Chief.
the Commander in Chief.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
All right.
All right, here we go. This is I'm gonna make sure I get their website right. I actually just tried this today.
Today,
Yeah, this is very fresh, so that's why I want to make sure I get this right.
Astroglide.
It's been I just tried this today. Well, if I see, I think I got. All right, yeah, I got the website right. And this is not only American made. This is like within 5 miles of us.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Thought this was pretty cool. So I was helping a guy get their podcast stuff set up today.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey man, have you had so-and-so's coffee?" I said, "No, I haven't."
Oh.
And he said, "Dude, he's making it. It's awesome." And he had this, it was the bourbon blend. And dude, look at all these blends here, like different stuff. It's chuggingcoffeeco.com. And it's a guy, he's local, literally right here. I don't remember where the names, but he's got one, it's called the bourbon. There's the Guatemala. The kind I had over there was the bourbon. I don't see it on here, but he also gave me the Guatemala. I haven't tried it yet. Mexican Hundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Ethiopia, like these are all the beans. You can select the bean. You can select medium, dark. You can even select the grind level. Like it's got all kinds of stuff in here. And you can even do special requests. Like whatever, and it goes into all his details, brewing essentials, or you can buy different stuff, but it's pretty cool, man. Like I said, the coffee is very good. The kind I had tonight was really good, or this afternoon was very good, and it is American made. It's right here. It's even cool, like in his logo, the train has the Tennessee Star in the center.
TriStar?
Yep.
So do they have a local location?
I don't think so.
So you have to order it?
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, you have to order it. But from my understanding, what this guy was telling me, they just they've just upgraded their stuff again. Like they're going full, like big time in this. So it's the Chuggin Coffee Co. And that's chuggincoffeeco.com. So just chuggincoffeeco.com.
Chuggin, no G on the end.
Yep. Coffee is roasted to order. It might be the best smelling coffee that I've ever smelled.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it smelled amazing. And shipped coffee, packaged, sealed, and sent as soon as the beans cool from being roasted. We only roast 100% organic, fair trade coffee.
They do have I wouldn't even know what these varieties.
Yeah.
I'd have to
Google them and look up.
Look at
Yeah.
Uganda, Ethiopia, Papua New Guinea, Peru, Rwanda.
Oh, I see they have a local customers thing here.
Mexican honey. Oh, they do?
Yeah, order form for locals only. $15 for 1 pound. And premium coffees will be denoted on the website. So, yeah, you can, for us local folks, you can even get it locally here. I think it's pretty cool, man. It's good coffee. You need to try it. I know you're a coffee man.
No, I will definitely try them out. One thing, because as I'm looking for new companies, there's one thing we're never short of on these companies. It's coffee companies, knives, and belts.
That is true. Yes.
We have about 6 or 7 different of each of those, which is great. Like I've actually on my list of companies that I've tried that I have not talked about yet is another coffee company. So I'll save those for a couple of months from now.
Dude, it is. That's what I've thought about, man. Coffee, I guess it's just a booming industry.
I actually got a coffee company and a belt.
Well,
that I've yet to talk about.
Do they do the same? Both companies make coffee and the belt?
No, it's different companies,
okay.
but I'm just saying it's kind of on my list of the ones I've got in the bank to talk about one night when we don't have another company.
Jeez. Well, there you go, guys. Check out chuggincoffeeco.com. It is good. You won't regret it. You're supporting American made and a small business. So
check out agzaga.com. Get some of the therapies. Try it out. If you have cattle, they're going to be stressed at some point when you're working them, when you're weaning them, when you're getting ready to haul them to sale barn, whatever. You won't beat their price even before you use the discount code.
Yeah.
Talk Dirt, all caps, all one word. The Bell Nut Wrap, again, if you hadn't ordered your Bell Nut Wrap by now, I mean, you're just a procrastinator.
Yeah.
You were that guy that was doing his homework as class was starting that morning. And hey, nothing wrong with that. You still graduated, but get on there, order it.
Order it now.
Check out all the other
Or may
stuff.
God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah. All the stuff. I mean, you can't even list everything they've got. Check them out. Next time you need something and you don't need it right then, you can wait a day or two on shipping.
Just get on there.
Yeah,
do it.
Check them out. Again, you get the 10% off. You can get the free shipping.
Talk Dirt, all caps, all one word.
You're not going to beat the prices. Yeah.
Guys, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. As long as we don't get pulled off air, then we'll be back here next week.
Yeah, Lord. This might have been our most cancelable episode.
I was going to say, this was potentially the raunchiest, most non-PC episode we could do.
Audience pleasuring themselves.
Talking about the networks catering to the different diversities.
Like telling the chick looked like she was a drug addict.
Yeah, cancer patient. Yeah.
The other chick was
I need
a little thick. Like, good Lord, man.
I need to pull a Larry the Cable Guy. God, forgive me for that one.
Who haven't we offended? If you work for the government, I mean, we've offended you in probably
our sheep farmers, man.
Sheep
farmers. We made you guys mad.
FBI, ATF.
Oh, yeah. My ATF is gay shirt is supposed to be in this week.
How did you, because I tried to reach out to them. They're like, it's a limited drop. Like, we do a pre-order and then we only do a set number.
That's what I did.
You must have got in.
I did, man. I got in there.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Catch you next week.